When you get old, like me, life begins to change. You meet a girl who forces you to move out of your bachelor pad and into a suburban nightmare. You have a family of gorgeous children who never give you a moment's peace. And any aspirations of owning a sports car go completely out the window. You end up having to own a hatchback, a crossover, or even worse, an estate. But don't slit your wrists quite yet. There are a few cars that allow you to go stupidly fast and let you bring the family along for the ride. This V60 Polestar is one of them. This car is fun.
How much fun? Well, how about 0 to 60 in 4.9 seconds? This thing's epic. I'm talking Porsche 911 Carrera territory right here. Off the lights, you're gonna blitz 90% of cars you encounter. Top speed, well, that's electronically limited to 155 miles an hour. Pretty much standard fare for a performance European car. But by God, this thing's quick. Power for all that acceleration comes from a 3-litre straight-six engine with a fat turbocharger bolted on. It'll produce 346 brake horsepower, 500 newton meters of torque. And at times it feels a hell of a lot more than that, I tell you. As well as being fast in a straight line, it also makes a really good noise. You knock the transmission into the sports setting and that opens up a set of valves in the exhaust. It's a raspy, low, aggressive kind of roar that reminds me of an old touring car. It's the kind of thing that A, puts a massive smile on your face, and B, lets people know, don't race this car, because you're not gonna win. Seriously, 1 minute this car is an ordinary, sedate family wagon, then you put your foot down, and it becomes this absolute monster that will destroy 90% of cars on the road.
It's just as well it goes well, because the V60 Polestar isn't much to look at. Don't get me wrong, it's a pretty enough car, elegant, stylish, but it's not especially sporty looking. It's a real sleeper. You can buy this car knowing it's fast as hell, but your girlfriend, wife, or whatever you're into won't have a clue. The only thing that gives it away are the big 20-inch alloys and the Polestar badges at the front and back, but even those don't look especially sporty. It's the same story inside too. Nothing inside this car says fast. There's the tiniest bit of Alcantara around the inside of the steering wheel, but there's no bucket seats, no chrome gear knob, no fancy red seat belts. This thing is a master of disguise. I'm not sure if I'm disappointed or impressed. As for options, there aren't any. The Polestar comes with everything you can possibly get in a Volvo V60, so it's well equipped with heated seats, dual zone climate control, sat-nav, and a shed load of safety kit. As for practicality, well, this isn't the largest car in the world, but it has a good amount of space. The boot will swallow up to 430 litres of stuff, or over 1,200 if you fold them down.
As good as this car is in the practicality department, by far the best thing about this car is just how much fun it is. It's arguably not the best performance estate on the market, but it's still damn good, damn fun, and damn fast. And that's especially true in sports mode. I talked about how it opens up the exhaust valves, but it also makes the throttle response incredibly quick. You put your foot anywhere near the pedal and it just lurches forward. It's rubbish in traffic in sport mode, but out on the open road, wow, sports car territory. The V60 Polestar uses an all-wheel drive setup, which in conjunction with the Michelin Pilot Supersport tyres, gives it incredible amounts of grip through the corners. Let's put it this way, those tyres are good enough for the Hennessy Venom GT, and that thing is a Veyron destroyer. That's the kind of grip we're talking about here.
Polestar Motorsport, who set this thing up, have thrown in a carbon fibre strut brace between the two front suspension turrets, shorter suspension springs that drop the ride height by 30mm or so, and they've made the springs 80% stiffer. Then they added new dampers.
Clearly, Polestar know exactly what they're doing, but it's not perfect. I don't like the steering on this thing. You go into a corner like I am now, and it responds initially quite well, but as the corner tightens up, what you find is that you have to apply even more lock. So right now, I go in and my arms are crossed up almost like pretzels to try and make it round the bend. It's especially apparent on a hairpin. It just tightens up and tightens up. You find yourself having to dial in more lock. It's quite disconcerting, a little bit annoying, even on roundabouts at low speed. The Polestar also feels a little bit heavy. That might sound stupid, of course, it's a big estate. It is heavy. It weighs 1,800 kilos, but it definitely feels every single gram of that. I wouldn't necessarily call it agile through the corners. It's willing enough, but it's not a car you want to take on a racetrack. Instead, where it excels is on a B road, come into a corner, dial it in, rely on that grip, and use that all-wheel drive performance to propel you out of that corner at high speed. Lastly, the gearbox. It's not bad. There's no fancy trickery going on here. It's not a dual clutch system. It's a normal automatic gearbox, but it's a pretty decent one. Most auto boxes are atrocious. They don't give you the gear you want when you want it, but this thing's different. It's not restrictive in what gear it wants to select. You tell it what you want, and as long as you're not being completely ridiculous, it'll give it to you. So right now, second gear, that's what I wanted, that's what I got, and I can launch out of that corner pretty effectively. Let's try that again into another corner. Third into second, yep, got it. Lighting up the tires as I come out. Yeah, it's a decent system. Not the last word in performance, but as auto transmissions go, it's pretty good.
The V60 Polestar is a great reminder that when you reach that stage where you have to embrace suburban life, that you don't have to completely abandon the thrills associated with fast cars. Sure, it's not the final word in absolute performance, but it's a damn good laugh. It really is good fun to drive and listen to and just generally enjoy. If you're looking for a good blend of performance, practicality, and you want something a little bit different, I thoroughly recommend it.
This thing just makes me want to strangle a human being. Ah!